Hey everybody, we're here at Calusa Pines and we're with none other than a Hall of Fame golfer and Bettinardi staffer, Fred Couples. We also got my father, Bob Bettinardi, and I'm Sam Bettinardi. And today's a big day in company history. We have Fred Couples testing our brand new irons, cavity backs, muscle backs, and who better than Fred to give us some feedback on our new creation. So Fred, first thoughts?
Yeah, well, no, I've been a Bettinardi guy a long time. And I'll be honest, I thought I was coming here to try some putters out, but lo and behold, I'm going to be hitting irons. So the first one I'm hitting is the muscle back pitching wedge, and then I'll move to what I consider, I call a little more forgiving club.
Yes.
You're calling them
Our CB24 is our cavity backs.
Yeah,
yes.
So muscle back, cavity back. But so far they look beautiful. So I'm just going to hit a few and then give a little input. And we're starting with a wedge. But first the thing I see is I like the color of the steel. So tell me when I say things wrong, but I like the finish, the look of it.
Very beautiful finish, diamond blast finish. It's a satin chrome. I love the fact that it's more matte, really glare resistant in the sun. You know, we're in sunny Florida. It's cloudy today, but looks beautiful outside.
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't need to hit many because I'm going to try and hit most of them, but it's really spectacular.
And that's just beautiful right there.
And the other thing is, you know, I have a couple of friends over here. It goes through the ground spectacular.
Yeah, we worked really hard on that turf interaction, on the bounce on the sole, you know, all types of playing conditions, wet, dry, Bermuda, bent. So I'm glad to hear you say that.
So it's not a club. I'm a California kid, and
there's that little cut we love.
I mean, now I'm going to go to your cavity back wedge.
Mm-hmm. So are you, Fred, more of a cavity guy or a muscle guy?
Well, I have to tell you, there's no, I mean, will this shoot the ball higher?
This will shoot the ball higher,
but we're going to see how I hit them.
Yes, but I think what we did really well in the engineering phase is on pitching wedge through, let's say, 8-7, we want a lower, more piercing flight, and on those 4, 5, 6, we designed it in a way with our tungsten ceramic material to get the ball launching.
Correct.
Of course, better for a lot of golfers,
right.
Guys like you and the common amateur.
And so what I see is the bottom, this is the cavity back. It's got a little more of a sole, but it's irrelevant because it's back here. And they're almost the same size. I'm probably wrong. You're probably going with little teeny centimeters where the cavity back's bigger.
It's off by, the top line's about 40 thou thinner on the muscle.
Correct.
Yes.
No, the only thing I see is this line.
Perfect.
That's what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to doubt they're going to be hit any differently. Will this go, you know, if I get it higher, it might travel another yard or two?
Yes, the way we designed it, again, on those higher lofted to go a little bit more piercing. We've seen great distance gains. We've seen great consistency from loft to loft. That looked a very similar flight.
Yeah.
But you know, being a guy that cuts the ball, workability, that was our goal on the muscle backs, to be able to have guys work it. These, to me, seem like they're right on a rope every shot.
No, I'm telling you, I won't hit, I'll go to the 9-iron. Give me the 9, Sammy, and the muscle back.
You got it.
They're really, really good.
That's as good as you could hit it right there.
I think if you gave these to tour players or your buddies who like you are scratches and they go like that, they wouldn't know what club it is, which is probably a good sign because they're not going to say, oh, that's a Titleist or that's a TaylorMade or whatever. I wouldn't be able to guess. Now I know this is not really your first, but the first try for Bettinardi to make irons,
yes.
But they don't look like TaylorMades. They don't look like Callaways.
Well, I think that was the cool part when him and I sat down to design them, when we were sketching things out with our engineering team. We said, don't look at any other irons on the market.
Right.
We want it to look like, feel like a Bettinardi product, and we want it to be classic, timeless.
And
got our honeycomb milling on
and
there.
I'm not talking about like when I'm cheating looking at that. I'm talking about when I just grab it. I would say, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's
yeah,
good.
oh no, that means it's fresh.
Yeah.
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 Leading edge looks very good to my eye.
Good. Not too thin.
No.
Oh, it's so good. Now, for better players, right, such as yourself, if you're going to try and work the ball, talk to us a little about the performance here, because you do have the muscle back, and that's how it was designed.
So for good players, you could put this right in your bag Now again, I want to keep hitting,
Jeez.
but it's the divot too, right, Griff?
It sounds great, and the divots look good.
Right. So the ball's going right through this. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm hitting off a putting green.
Right.
I'm a California guy. We have turf.
You got the
We
zoysia,
have
you got
turf.
little poof
This
in the
is
ground.
like hitting off the ground. So when you go through, these divots are absolutely perfect. When you still see the grass underneath, that's what you want. You don't.
Yep. You're not getting the diggers that people
No,
don't
this
want to
goes.
see.
These go through the ground.
So good. Here's the cavity back.
Okay.
So for the average golfer, if they're looking to decide between a muscle and a cavity, I always tell people to get fit. What would your recommendation be?
No, I tell all my buddies to get fit. Go and look at all the clubs, and then try and find, if you're going for Bettinardi irons now, if they're going to be out there soon, go to the cavity back and then go to the muscle back. There's not a whole lot of difference, but the guy doing it may say, well, you're hitting the cavity back 2 yards further. 2 yards is what you want, but they're not going to look any different. I mean, to be honest.
Looks are very similar. Again, the
Yeah,
major difference
it's
is
the
that
top-
top line
yeah.
thickness.
And
And,
if
then
you-
again, some manipulation in the back flange with the CG, all trying to be behind the sweet spot.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
That's
so
the-
I noticed that
right,
you're hitting your
that's the
cavities
hardest
higher.
I've swung. That went along. Let me hit one real quick
Yep.
before I fall over, but that's the hardest I've hit one, and that went, I don't know, 140.
140. Beautiful.
This is good.
And that went
Right there.
almost the
And
same.
you know what, Fred? I was going to say one thing for a guy. I'm an 8 handicap, and if I look at something with a thin top line, I get a little freaky. You know,
You do.
I'd rather have a thicker top line, thus the cavity.
But the
back.
key is, while I got you guys standing here, I don't have my clubs, but this way is still the same.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I bet if I put my irons, they'd be, because they don't look a lot like him, but the face. Whereas when I go look at, like when I play with Cantlay or Tony Finau or Brooks, and I look at their clubs and I go, oh my God, I couldn't hit those.
Yes.
I could, but I couldn't. You know, they're small and stocky, but this is a beautiful looking
Guys
club.
with faster swing speeds. One of the big things too to me, Fred, so when it comes down to picking a set of irons for my whole life until the Bettinardi irons, it's been about look, right? When you look down and feel.
Yeah.
So tell me the feel, those are all forged 1025 carbon steel. What do you notice the difference with our heads versus other forged heads?
Well, I'd like to tell you now we're going to notice if there's any difference, because now I'm going to start hitting them 150, 60, 70.
Yeah.
How heavy are these? This set? Just, I mean, you just built these. Are these like D2s?
Yes,
or-
D2s,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's what I use. So they feel like my,
feel right.
like my weight.
In terms of feel, ball impact, feel off the head.
I mean, the 9 irons were perfect. And like I say, so the big thing for me is what it looks like right now, and these look really, really nice.
Nice. Now you trying to work that a little bit, or is that a little?
I pulled that, but I hit it hard.
Yep.
So, no, I'll hit a couple, but that was just a pull.
Dead straight.
Yeah, so that got up a little higher. But wow, I mean, they are,
How do you like that launch?
that's a perfect launch.
Yep.
So now if the wind starts to howl, so the best thing I could tell you right now is you built a great club with this thing here,
The sole.
The sole.
the sole.
Yeah. Interaction with the turf.
Yeah, I mean, that's my first one. If it was not right for me, I could have come off of it a little bit or tweaked it. But I feel like I could hit that shot all day.
Love it. Yeah, I think the big thing when I knew we had something when we were designing and testing these irons was the fact that on my mishits, the ball was about 5 to 7 yards less versus some of the other brands were 10 to 15 yards less. So, you know, chalk that up to what's inside the head. It's not a hollow body where the ball hits the club head and it just shoots off.
Correct.
So I feel like, again, the overall construction, that feel, the forged feel, the carbon steel, all goes right into that production of that iron.
So the main thing for me is if I hit 10 7-irons, right?
Yep.
And this is the pin, I want my balls to be like this, around. Not necessarily all going to be 15 feet away, but I don't want a 7-iron to go way up here
Yes.
and then one to plug in the bunker here. So one of the things that I always do is I hit at home when I get new clubs, and yours will be the same, and I walk out there and I'll work with the wedge 9 and 8 because I can't hit 500 balls anymore. And if they're
You
in
want
that
to see
radius,
the consistency.
well, consistency though is like I've hit a couple of these really, really well. And if we walked out there and they were going 172 and the rest of them were going 165, then I'd say, you know, we got to fix that.
We got an issue.
But the bounce is also a key thing, and these are all going through. But what I'm saying is once you get all warmed up and you get ready to go, for me, I've never been a guy that says, oh my God, I'm stiffing every 7-iron. I want them to be across.
You know them all 165.
Yeah, because if I come off the ball a little bit, I don't want it to be on the right front of the green. I want it to be middle-ish of the green. And then if I really pull one, I don't want it going a mile.
Correct. Good.
Yeah, so these are fantastic. I'll hit one more and I'll go to the cavity back 7.
That was more of that piercing flight,
Yeah,
which I think that's what we want golfers to experience on those muscle backs.
yep. And I'm gonna hit one, I'm gonna try and hit one way up in the air without really working.
Just a little steeper.
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful.
shit, they go up. All right.
They go up.
I mean, they fly very straight.
Yeah,
And
that's again, when we knew we had something, it was the distance control. They weren't going too hot. They weren't going too less on mishits. The accuracy and that dispersion, I mean, that is on a rope right there.
Well, yeah, I've hit 3. That's the best one. So that's going right next to the, that one may have gone a little further.
The MBs. Yeah, I feel like they do
Muscle
go
backs.
a little further, yes. Just
All right, let
because
me
of the
try
launch.
5.
5.
5 muscle or 5?
5 muscle first. So I'm going to try and go a little further left,
About
but
that
I mean,
red
this is a
flag.
beautiful
Little
club.
butter cut into the red.
This is a beautiful club.
And I love too that height, right?
Yeah.
5 irons go a little lower, we know. That looked like a beautiful flight, had some nice hang time on there.
If you're looking for a problem, you got to look another direction. They're spectacular looking.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm not shocked. I just thought I was putting today. Can I ask, how are the grooves? The grooves look...
Grooves are good, and that
Yeah.
goes into our machining background, right? We know metal. Bob's been doing it for 30 plus years. The honeycomb milling on the back flange, the face is milled, right? It's all USGA approved. So that goes into our background and our knowledge, putting them into this iron.
Plus grip. Got the right grips on them too, and they feel real. I've been struggling with grips too. This is just the right size. Some of the
That blend.
nozzles can get longer,
Yes.
and obviously some get really blunt.
Yes.
And I'm used to, I mean, so a lot of things are catching my eye because they look like clubs that I could fit right into. But,
Sure.
you know,
Put a zombie green finish on there.
you could, but let's get me a set soon.
Awesome.
These are great looking clubs.
Thank you, Fred. That means a lot.
I mean, I don't hit my forehand like that.
Not today.
Really? So we got something.
Am I lying? Am I making this sound good? No, I mean, I need fresh.
Fresh grooves, fresh forging, fresh milling from your favorite putter company,
I need
now
that
golf
last
company.
shot right there from 205. Great grips. And I want to tell you, I was actually trying to.
Nice.
That sounded like.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Last one.
I'm gonna trim that tree.
So good. Love that cut.
You know that? So if I can cut those, I can cut them.
It's awesome.
basically, Fred, thank you so much for trying our new sets of irons. You got the muscle back, the cavity back. Sammy, great job explaining the technology about it. And we will definitely get you a set before Tucson. You got 2 weeks off.
2 weeks, yeah. No, I'm dead serious. These are really,
Thank you.
I don't change much. And it takes a lot for me to change.
It does.
And all I got to do is go out and hit them 80% good. I can work my way to 90 and 100, but they're beautiful.
Yes.
And now I got the 4, so when we go off the air, I'm going to hit a couple more 4 irons.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then I'm done. But I appreciate,
Thank you, sir.
and like I said, the
Fred,
putters,
thank you
the
so
putters
much.
you guys have down.